I have tried to make this video 5 different times, and each time it just did not come out right. And the subjects I had in mind were things like self worth, peer pressure, and identity. But instead, what we're going to talk about today is the harder you try, the harder it becomes because you start overcomplicating it. The harder you try to study for a test, the harder it becomes to study because you're trying so hard. And it might sound a bit backwards because at first you're going to be thinking, and mind you, this is what I thought when this came into my head too, was no, the harder I try, the easier it should be because I'm trying more. But then I thought about it and I realized that no, the harder you try, the harder it becomes because you're trying so hard. And I hope that you guys understand this video. I know this, it might sound all over the place, but the implications of this stretch into so many areas of life that I gotta put this video out there. So it's going to be quite different than my usual content, but bear with me and get your notebooks out because this is going to be a good one. So, often in life, when we want something, the natural thing to do is try to get it. Makes a lot of sense. If you want it, you have to go out there, do stuff that leads to getting it. Now, here's the problem. If you're trying so hard, you're chasing it and it starts running away from you. An easy example, if you want a girlfriend, but you're trying so hard, you're trying so hard to say the perfect thing. You're trying so hard to go above and beyond. You're trying so hard that it actually is doing too much. Now, when you have something, you're just calm. You're not worried. You're in this state of being receptive. You're open. You're not so focused on running after the thing that you want. Now, here's where it gets paradoxical. For those who don't know what the word paradox means, a paradox is something that makes sense, but also doesn't make sense. Like it is day and night at the same time. That makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. It can only be day or night. No, it's day and night depending on where you are on the planet. But back to the point. So, because earlier I was trying so hard to make a good video, it became hard to make a good video because I was trying so hard to make a good video. Now, how can you apply this to your life? Simple. If you need to study for a test, don't think to yourself, I need to try so hard to study for this test because trying so hard makes it so hard. Instead, what you should do is say, I'm going to study for my test. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to get a girlfriend. But I'm not going to try so hard to get it. Because when you're trying so hard, I believe it's Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So I have this metal water bottle right here in front of me. Now, when I push against this bottle, it also pushes against my hand. So I'm trying so hard to move it. All this force I need to put on it to move the bottle. But instead, if I just said, I'm going to move the bottle, see how easy that was? Our goals are like that. When we set these goals that we want to achieve, like getting straight A's, getting a relationship, getting into college, starting a business, getting in good shape, whatever your goal is, you have to look at it and say, I'm just going to do the thing instead of saying that I'm going to work so hard on it. Because when you make it hard mentally, it becomes hard in the physical. Now, when you make it easy mentally, it becomes easier in the physical. Now, how does this also again apply to our life? Like, Lawrence, make this practical. If you're looking at your goal and you think of it as this mountain that you have to climb, it becomes a mountain. If you think this goal is so hard mentally, it will become hard to do. Whereas if you just say one step after the next, and I'm going to get to the top of the mountain, one step after the next, and I will have a successful business. One gym session after the next, and I will be in good shape. One, hey, how's your day going? After the next, and I will have a relationship. One, whatever input necessary after the next, and I will have the desired outcome. Now, what just came to my head, too, is that is not at all to say you become lazy. It's not at all to say that you don't try and, put your best effort forward. It's instead to say that you have to stop thinking of your goal as being hard. You have to stop making it scarier in your head than it actually is. And you also want to set goals that stretch you but aren't astronomically high. Last night, and I say this a lot, one of the best success tips and things you can do in your life is the night before, write out what you need to do tomorrow. So it might be study for my homework, well, study for my math test, do my homework, go to school, go to the gym, go to work, whatever it is you need to do the next day, write it down. And then when you wake up, do that. So if last night you wrote down study for my homework at 3 p.m., tomorrow when 3 p.m. comes, study for your homework. Well, study your math test and do your homework and whatever you need to do. And last night I wrote out that I wanted to send 90 emails today. I've mentioned this many times before, but I find sending emails to be a really boring task. Why is it boring? Because, like I said earlier in the video, I think it's boring. When you think something is boring and think it is hard, it becomes hard for you to do it because that's the story that you're telling yourself about the thing. There's some people who going to the gym, I'll use myself as an example. I go to the gym just about every single day because to me, it's easy. I think it is easy. It's just part of my routine. It's just, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. But there's other people who they say, man, I got to go to the gym. It's so hard. It's so hard. Now, to them, it is because that's how they think about it. Whereas to me, it is easy because I think it is easy. So, whatever you want to achieve, stop thinking it's so hard. And I'm trying to make this more applicable because it's easier said than done, obviously. But the most practical tip I can give for this is just break the big thing into little steps. Like, okay, if you wanted to lose 100 pounds, that's really hard to do. But can you lose 1 pound? 1 pound. Yeah, I could lose 1 pound. That's pretty easy to do. I just need to go on the treadmill and, curl the 20-pound weights. That's all I need to do, and I'll lose a pound. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So if you lose 1 pound 100 times, you will lose 100 pounds. Now, overnight, no. In a month, no. In a year, possible. Okay, I want to go from a C minus, which is a 70, to A plus, which is 100%. Now it's either 100% or 95. It depends on the grading system, but that is a 25% to 30% difference. That's a pretty substantial amount. Okay, are you able to raise your grade by 1%? Yeah, I can raise my grade by 1%. I just need to turn in an extra homework assignment. Exactly. Do that 30 times. Boom. Or you need to study for the test. I don't want to study for an hour. I don't want to study for an hour every single day. Okay, study for 10 minutes. Oh, I can study for 10 minutes. Easy. Okay, now study for another 10 minutes. Easy. Study for another 10. Easy. Boom. And eventually you have studied for an hour. I don't want to send out 90 emails. Okay, send out one. Okay, I can do that. And then another one. Oh, I can do that. Now, here come the next point, mental fatigue. As I talked about in the video before this one, your energy, you only have but so much. So the more you do, a lot of time, the more tired you will get. Because if you try to go work out for 3 hours, you'll have a lot of energy at the start, and then it'll go down and down and down, and then it'll go up again at another point, and then it go down and down and down, and just lose energy. So you need to be able to pace yourself, and like I mentioned before, you need to set goals that stretch you, but aren't astronomically hard. An interesting thing for me is that you would think it's harder for me to go on a stage and give a speech than it is for me to make a YouTube video. But going on a stage in front of hundreds of people and speaking is actually easier for me than talking into this camera. I think it's because it feels more natural. And with the word natural, that just brought into mind how you want to make your goals feel natural. Once it feels like I am the person who can achieve that, it becomes easier. Because the person who go to the gym consistently and you think of it's an identity. Like I see myself as someone who takes good care of their health. It's easier to do things such as go to the gym because it's a part of the way I see myself. My identity is someone who takes good care of their body, so it's easier to do those things. My identity is a youth empowerment speaker, so it's easy for me to go up on a stage and give these speeches and leave people in awe. But I don't have the identity of somebody who likes being behind the laptop sending emails all day. I don't like doing it. I make myself do it because I have to, but I don't enjoy it. And the thing that we enjoy and are easy for us are hard to other people because to them it is hard, but to us it is easy. So the lesson for this video is if there's a goal in your life that just seems really hard for you, try to think of it as being easy. Like what's the easiest thing you could do to improve your grades? Or the easiest thing you could do to improve your cleaning your room? Like maybe you're procrastinating that. What the easiest thing you could do to get the ball rolling on the big thing that you're trying to achieve. Now, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can also purchase my books below. I have two of them. Let me grab them right here for you. This is my most recent one, Made for More Hope, Resilience, and the Strength Within. Mainly about things like mental health recovery, stress management, self worth, all that good stuff. And the other one, Power to the People. This one is more of a general self improvement related book, mainly about learning how to control your thoughts and the importance of physical health and having financial discipline. Obviously, I'm not a millionaire, but that book is mainly for people who are just looking for the surface level general stuff and is very easy to understand. Whereas Made for More is where I go a lot more in detail about not only my life story, but also self help. Well, I wouldn't say self help per se, but mental health and being able to better regulate your emotions. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.